I feel once you come into this program, you got to know that they want to see you win just as much as you want to win. So they give you the support, they give you the tools that you need to win. I was actually unemployed because I resigned from my job 2 years ago after I gave birth to my son. I've never been in healthcare before. My previous jobs have just been customer service based. I knew that the time was coming where I had to get back into the workforce, but I didn't know where I was going to go. I remember talking to a cousin of mine. She's like, no, I know about this program. You can get in, you can become certified. I dug into it a little bit more, read about the program, read about the qualifications, and it took my interest right away. I went into the program knowing, okay, you're going to take the certification for a certified medical administrative assistant, but the bonuses that came along with it, they helped us revamp our resumes. They did mock interviews. They gave you a typing course. They are with you every step of the way until you find a job. And even afterwards, it's just the huge amount of support that I received from Generations that's going to stick with me. The difference I say now is that my confidence is back. My worry is less. I literally felt like I had a time clock and it was ticking. Like, what are you going to do? What's going to be your next move? And now I'm at ease because, again, I have an exciting new career. I am grateful for this program. I really am. Because this program has allowed me to see another side of myself. I really want to be someone that my son can be proud of. I want to show him like, hey, if you work hard, if you stay determined, whatever it is that you want to achieve in this lifetime, you can.